Hey guys, this is Camping15, joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf, and we are back at it again with another One Piece arc reviews. And we're here back with the second half of the Dressrosa arc, where we're going to cover up from the part where Doflamingo made the birdcage, get through all the battles. We're not going to go through each battle in detail, but just get through the main battles and then get to the end of the arc, and then, look forward to Zone next week. So, you ready to discuss the back half of this arc? Because it's pretty much, eventful.
Yes, and after all that, oh my God, you've been standing here this whole time watching this video, and you haven't hit the like button yet. I fumbled on my words, but have you fumbled over the like button yet? Is the question.
Yes, leave a like if you'd like to see more. Even though technically in my intro it says subscribe and leave a like, but okay.
It's just a reminder.
All right. So, anyways, let's get to it, because last time we left off, Carol's cut off Doflamingo's head. We later find out that it was a clone, our string clone, and he created the birdcage to essentially seal them all in from escaping. Now, after he creates the birdcage, apparently, I don't know, he has like some kind of, holographic type of thing to broadcast his message all over Dressrosa. And he says in order for the people of Dressrosa to get rid of the birdcage, they have to either, well, A, kill him, which I think most people will not take that option, or B, what you could say might be the easier route, but still is pretty difficult, is either bring him the Straw Hats, Trafalgar Law, Kiemon, Sabo, or any members of the royal family. And Usopp is also ranked the highest because he is ahead of 500,000, just because he took down essentially everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which, who would have thought God Usopp is going to be the main target Doflamingo wants? Yeah, which was hilarious.
Then again, he should feel honored for being seen as a threat for someone of his stature.
Yeah, I do find it funny that some people are like, we got to get their hands on them and stuff like that. So, yeah, this essentially becomes a whole, well, you can say a race for time to beat Doflamingo. It somewhat has the same type of aspect as the last arc in Punk Hazard, where they're running from a gas at the same time. They're fighting so many freaking characters that get in their way. The only difference is there's a bunch more characters, and then not all the Straw Hats are involved in this. So in any ways, to reach Doflamingo, they have to get to the Palace Hall, essentially. The top of the palace, the top of the thing. Plus, when Pika messes up the entire landscaping of Dressrosa because of his stone fruit, that makes it even more difficult.
Well, good luck, Zoro. You're not getting there.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Luffy and Zoro with Law tied up. We're writing the bull that Luffy was going up against in his Coliseum match. And the funny thing is, the other combatants were actually falling behind them to help them out, which I just loved that entire chase sequence, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, eventually Pika shows up, which this is when we finally hear his voice for the first time, and that's when you have the typical Luffy laugh, like.
Actually, we heard it before. Didn't we hear it before that scene? Actually,
I don't think we did. Well, I think we did.
I thought I remember seeing just one scene of him laughing, and one of the soldier guys working on the Doflamingo got killed for laughing at it.
Well, the reason why Luffy was laughing this time is because at this point, like, Pika looks like he's literally like a giant man, like covering half of Dressrosa. And he just has that tiny squeaky voice in a big person's body. Yeah. I don't know who's gonna be the English dub's Pika voice, but hopefully they do a good job with him. I would be absolutely dying of laughter if they say they gave him the voice actor of Yui's voice or Happy's voice. I would actually be dying if they actually give Pika's English dub voice either the Yui voice from Sword Art Online or Happy.
I think Happy is more. I think
Happy probably be more appropriate, which would be hilarious. But hopefully Funimation gets down the joke. So yeah. Anyways, Zoro is like, Luffy, go on, I'll confront Pika and stuff like that. I think we can get this Pika versus Zoro fight out of the way quickly. Gosh dang, man. You know, you can say Zoro was kind of lackluster fights in the New World Saga, but this fight, man, it put this man on the map again.
Mm-hmm.
Takes on a gigantic stone statue.
You can cut through anything at this point.
And albeit he was cutting through Pika with ease.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the last attack where he cut him in half, bro, I was like, how strong is this guy? What did he learn from Mihawk?
OMG, those 2 years was enough for him to OMG.
Yeah. It was.
I was fanboying.
I think every Zoro fan was fanboying, but knowing you, since you're you love swords people, I bet you were going out the wazoo.
Got that right.
Yeah. He does cut him in half. What was the move he did to cut him in half? It was like something Caliber Phoenix, I believe.
No, that would be oh my god. I forgot the name of that song, but I forgot the name of that move, but in Japanese it sounds like Sansensukai.
Well, I didn't put the move he finished him off with down here. And then, like typical thing, he eventually what Zoro here is doing is he's trying to find the real body of Pika where his real body's at, so then he can finish him off. Eventually, he does find that, and let me just say it once before, and I'll say it again. Whenever a One Piece character full coats their body into hockey, 9 out of 10 times they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Gear 4 Luffy, who apparently can cover his entire body in hockey, and 9 out of 10 times he wins. But, well, that one time he lost to Kaido, well, even Big Mom too, but hey. So, yeah. But, yeah, Zoro beats Pika again with another One Piece character, stupidly, because they think, oh, let me just activate my armament hardening all over my body, and you can't touch me. Yeah. It doesn't really work against somebody that can also do hockey. Mm-hmm. So let's just make sure you don't do that again. But hey, at least that's the last time we see somebody do that type of trick until Bullet in One Piece Stampede.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was insane.
Although the ending to that fight was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Going on, Frank, and I'm just going over for some of the fights that are happening. Frankie, he starts his little brawl with Senor Pink. We'll get to Senor Pink's backstory later in the video. Robin and Bartolomeo eventually team up together to fight Gladius, even though, let's just say, the other guy's alter ego gets involved. Yeah.
Cavendish.
Yes, Cavendish. And then Rebecca at first confronts Diamante, but then Karos comes in to save to confront Diamante himself because he tells her, you do not have to fight anymore. Let me do the fighting and stuff like that, which that was a pretty emotional battle there too. So after some time passed, Luffy and Law eventually get up to the thing. Now, the whole thing too is Law at the time was put into handcuffs, but eventually they gave him the keys to get out of the Sea Prism handcuffs, or the Sea Prism stone handcuffs. But then, yeah, a certain little kid, or however old she is, runs into Luffy and Luffy and Law do not know nothing about Sugar or nothing to do with her powers. And would you like to care to tell the audience what Usopp's next badass moment he had in this arc?
Oh yes, you said what he used right there was hockey, right?
Yes.
That was actually observation hockey.
Yes. He awakened his.
Dang, yeah. He snipes uh an object that looks like his face, all from I don't know how many miles away into a tiny window just to get to Sugar. It's that exact same face that he made when he started breathing fire to scare her to death.
Yeah, and then after that, Sugar's kind of, done for the rest of the arc, really.
Oh my god. The same trick worked twice.
Yeah, so Usopp has awakened his observation hockey, so he is technically the fourth Straw Hat Pirate member um in the crew that knows some sort of hockey. For a sniper, it's probably good that he does know not armament, observation hockey. Again, if you don't know, if you watch the One Piece special, Heart of Gold, they do make a reference to Usopp having not armament hockey, observation hockey, because early in the movie they get alerted to a villain showing up, and then how they do it the one arc, how they know that they show their observation hockey by their eyes, like having the red line. Usopp does that in that special. So it was cool that he has awoke his observation hockey. We haven't seen him awaken it again, mostly because there hasn't been a big battle with him. But the next big battle with Usopp will probably be the battle on Onigashima with Kaido and company. So yeah. Anyways, Law and Luffy finally get to the palace, but they run into Treble, yes, Mr. Snotface himself, and Doflamingo.
Along with Bellamy, am I right?
Yes, Bellamy. And that is because Luffy was trying to attack Doflamingo because Law's taking care of Treble at the moment. Let's just say Bellamy is essentially being used as a puppet to Doflamingo. And he's telling, Luffy, well, in order to get to me, you have to beat him up. And it's kind of really messed up because we all know early in the arc, Bellamy told, the audience, like, he really does like Doflamingo and he respects him. He looks up to Doflamingo. And honestly, Doflamingo's treating him like honest to goodness garbage, like he doesn't care.
He literally doesn't care.
And stuff like that. And it's mostly because he sees Bellamy as a failure because he can never get the job done. Like, this goes way back to freaking Jaya and stuff like that, which, man, talk about like slavery and stuff like that, which, is kind of Doflamingo's trope when it comes to his arc. It deals with not slavery, but controlling amongst other people, which he did for this entire country for like how many years?
Shouldn't we talk about what Doflamingo told Bellamy once? Like he has no interest in being a pirate or something, but he said anything is fine as long as he can destroy the world and stuff.
You can say that. I don't remember him saying that, but if you want to go more in depth with that, go ahead.
Well, that's all I can remember. But that's where like I started like getting a good look at his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to him when he was a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like just mistreated. He was mistreated just because his family wanted to lead like normal human lives, but they were mistreated.
Oh, are you talking about Doflamingo's backstory?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get into that soon. We'll get into that soon. Not yet.
Mhm.
Because that kind of ties into the Law backstory as well. Anyways, I believe there's one. I believe Law also uses the Gamma Knife move against Treble. He also does it against Doflamingo later on in this fight, which that double team fight between that whole thing was crazy. Like I like the one scene where Luffy is charging at Law, and then Law does his shambles, and he actually does. Luffy does Red Hawk on Doflamingo, which messes up Doflamingo's inside for like legit the rest of his arc. But apparently, you can string back your damaged organs.
Is that how it works?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently so. Apparently, Doflamingo, even though he has internal organ damage, can apparently just refix that with his, string powers. And I'm like, hold on. If your organs are damaged that badly, your freaking powers should not have no effect for your organs, unless your organs are made out of string.
That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought.
But what do I know? Let's just say Doflamingo took a lot of punishing blows in this arc and stuff like that. Anyways, now the reason why Doflamingo wanted Law so badly, not only on his freaking pirate crew, but mostly just he wants Law to do the op-op-no-me surgery. In other words, if you perform the op-op-no-me surgery on somebody, you can grant that person you do the surgery on essentially eternal life and make them live forever. But the only problem and the downside to that is the person who wields the op-op-no-me's powers dies because of it. Which makes this devil fruit very dangerous if it gets to somebody into the wrong hands of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can essentially be like, here, eat this fruit and give me the surgery. Otherwise, well, you can't really say you're going to kill them because they're going to die either way.
Well, no.
What?
I thought I heard someone knock. Anyway.
Now there might. Now I'm just gonna say this. So we know that thing. Do you think there'll be a part in the One Piece story where maybe Law gives that surgery where somebody gets immortality essentially, and then Law dies because of it?
That would probably, in my opinion, it would probably be in the final battle. Probably. During the final battle.
We just want to know what character would get it. Mm-hmm. I feel like Blackbeard would definitely try to get at that, but at the same time, he'd be sacrificing one of his own men to do it, though.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we never know. We never know. So, yeah. Anyways, that's what we're going to get back into. We're going to get into what Denzel would awfully love to talk about, the Trafalgar Law / Doflamingo / Corazon backstory. But it's mostly a split between Doflamingo and Trafalgar Law. I guess you can talk about the Doflamingo backstory. I'll talk about the Law backstory. First things first, we're going to start with Law's backstory. So Law, he originated back in the North Blue. And what happened is after some time, he joined Doflamingo's crew. The reason why he did that is because, let's just say he came down with a disease that his entire damn town got called amber lead, which literally infected everybody. And it was so bad, they made COVID look like a dang little fly to it. Or no, this amber lead disease was so bad, it made COVID look like honestly a fly in measly to that, because the only difference with that is there were people actually dying from it.
I think most of the people died just from people just spraying fire on them and stuff, and they were just exterminating the sick people.
Oh, the Marines, yeah, they were like, this cannot get out, because if this breaks out, we're done. And yeah, they essentially just said, I guess you could say mass murdered everybody who had that symptom, which Law lost his dad, his mom, his sister, his friends from class or school. When they even tried to get out of there, but next thing you know, he leaves them for a second. He turns around, he comes back. They're all dead. So, just like Robin, he's really the only person from that town.
Yep, he lost everything.
So, anyways, what happens is, he gets brought into the Doflamingo family. And then obviously, you see a younger baby 5 who eventually falls for Sai later in this arc, who then proclaims her love and eventually joins the Straw Grand Fleet, which I found hilarious. And then, yeah, Baby 5 and Buffalo and stuff like that. You see other members, and then you see this one guy named Corazon, who is the brother of Doflamingo. Now, Law at first hated this guy because, one, he just gave him looks, and then he didn't talk at all. And Law was like, I'm going to kill this guy. Like, which he actually tries to do. He actually tries to kill Corazon. Too bad it fails unexpectedly because Corazon sees it coming. Which then when Doflamingo hears word of this after, let's just say, taking a nap and having some nightmares about his backstory. Would you care to explain his backstory, Denzel?
Yeah, like I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, as a boy, he was raised in the family of celestial dragons, and his father decided that they should try to live normal human lives. So they went out there. They left the place where the celestial dragons hang out and stuff.
Marige was, and the other celestial dragon is like, well, if you're gonna leave us, you can never return.
Mm-hmm. Typical of them. Anyways, yeah, they tried to like live normal human lives and stuff, and they weren't really greeted really well like with the other people, because people just see them as the people who, like, they just look down on them and stuff.
Yeah.
To the point that they start getting tortured and stuff. Like, and people actually started like shooting arrows at them, right? And stuff.
Yeah, I believe they're like tied up to like what you could say was a cross, all 3 of them. Now the mother, Doflamingo's mother died because of a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was just him, Corazon, and his dad.
Yeah, Doflamingo just got fueled with rage from all of this because he kind of hated he pretty much hated his family right there, right?
Yeah, essentially. He more hated his dad, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After all that chaos like went down, Doflamingo pointed a gun at his dad and stuff, and his dad's last word is, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and all that stuff. I'm sorry I couldn't be a good father, I guess. Is that what he said?
Yeah, essentially. But Doflamingo just shot him in cold blood.
Mm-hmm. With Corazon watching, like, all.
Yeah,
Jesus.
all scared. And then eventually Treble picks him up and kind of proclaims him as the next future king and yada yada yada. And then that's when you see, obviously, he starts his crew with the other members of the Don Quixote pirates, and you see Vertigo, and the other members you see. And obviously, after time, you see that they pick up Law and Baby 5 and Buffalo off the streets essentially, and put them into their own little pirate gang and stuff like that. Just one thing to mention. I did find it hilarious how even back as a kid, Doflamingo was still wearing shades.
We never see his eyes.
Which, yes, we never see his eyes at all. Not even after Luffy defeats him and you can clearly see his glasses are off his face and broken. They never, ever show his eyes. So I don't know if he's got some messed up looking eyes or something, but yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I think it'll be weird to just to actually see his eyes, because I think he'll be weird. He'll be looking really weird if we actually saw his eyes.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be interesting. So yeah. Uh, the Doflamingo backstory, even though, well, it was still a pretty emotional backstory in terms of Doflamingo because it's like he really didn't want to do that. He is actually observing he was appreciating and liking his luxurious, let's just say living and being as lesser dragon. But um, I guarantee you, if he somehow stayed up there, he'd be up there with Saint Charles in terms of one of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Which when they finally cut back to the present, that's how he was able to fake the fact that he never declined his option of being a warlord. He used his world noble status to essentially fake the news and make it look like that, but he still kept his job essentially, which we all know that happened there. Going back to the Trafalgar Law's backstory, essentially, one, we find out that Law's full name, because he tells us the baby five, Corazon and Buffalo. He says that his full name is Trafalgar Water D. Law, which now shows that there's another D amongst us in this storyline. So you got Monkey D. Dragon, Monkey D. Garp, Monkey D. Luffy, Marshall D. Teach, and Trafalgar Water D. Law. And the only difference is one of them is Marine, all the rest of them are pirates. Oh, and Gold D. Roger, Portgas D. Ace, and I think even Portgas D. Rouge had a name. So, yeah, all the others were pirates. One was a civilian and another one was a Marine. So, 9 of 10 times, seems like the D family line are more than likely pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Which, when Corazon found this out, he used his devil fruit powers, which is the Naga Naga no Mi, which essentially creates like a little field around them where nobody can hear whatever they say. And essentially what Corazon said is, you have the name D in your name? And Law's like, yes. And Corazon's like, you need to run away from Doflamingo as fast as possible because he is going to kill you. And the reason why is because Doflamingo feared people with the name D, because he was told that they are people that are supposed to be the natural enemies of God. In other words, you can say, well, kind of what happened to Eneru. And also, you can pretty much say, since the celestial dragons look like they live on top of the world, on like a heaven type of landscaping, I guess you can consider them, as crazy as it might seem, gods. Which Doflamingo, let's be honest, he's so self-centered, he saw himself as a god. So, of course, he would be scared of that and stuff like that. Anyways, Corazon and Law eventually do not tell Doflamingo. They eventually run off. And the thing is, with them running off, you see Law and Corazon building a relationship amongst each other. And what Corazon's trying to do for Law is, since he knows Law has the Amber Lead type of little syndrome going on, he's trying to go to doctors around the One Piece world and say, hey, can you help this kid? He has the Amber Lead disease. But you have all these doctors like, hell no, I'm not going to do that. And stuff like that, which I believe it was a false way to catch the whole little disease going on, and it was whole misinterpreted by other people. Thanks again to the Marines hiding the fact that they essentially committed mass murder. But hey, it's the Marines. Everything's nice and stuff like that. It's fine. Even though technically their orders were given from the world government, but what do I know?
You know everything, my friend. You know everything.
Yeah. Now, eventually, what Doflamingo finds out is, because he's trying to get his hands on the Opnomi, he knows that there's going to be a pirate seller selling the Opnomi. And he's trying to get his hands on that. Now, eventually, Corazon hears about this and hears about the potential of the stuff like that. And this is when we find out that Corazon actually ain't a pirate. He's a secret agent for the Marines, which was a shocker. And I guarantee you it's something that Okiji's doing with the Blackbeard pirates. Anyways, yeah, you find out he's a secret Marine agent. He actually goes to this seller to try to buy the Up no Mi. He eventually gets it, even though shenanigans happen, but he kind of doesn't get it. He kind of steals it. And then when it comes to a point where all hope is lost, he makes Law eat the Up no Mi, which eventually cures him of his amber lead disease. And as he's trying to escape from Doflamingo, because he knows he was supposed to give the Up no Mi to the Marines. Thank God he didn't, because we don't know what the Marines could have done with it, which the Up no Mi definitely would have been going to the world government. And somebody from the world government is eating that fruit and performing the surgery to make somebody immortal.
And killings off one of their kind.
Yes. And Corazon knows, since he gave Law the Up no Mi to eat it, he knows that, well, it seems like I kind of committed treason against the Marines, so let's go out on the run. But just like what's going on in Dressrosa, Doflamingo sets up a bird cage so Corazon and Law cannot escape. And it comes to the point where Corazon has to hide Trafalgar Law into a treasure chest, and we get this emotional thing where essentially he tells Law that he loves him, which, damn, hits him hard and stuff like that. Essentially that's when brother v brother happens, and essentially Corazon tells Doflamingo to his face, I never wanted to be like you because you're messed up, brother, and stuff like that. And what does he get for that? And he gets shot. I don't know if he gets shot multiple times, but he gets shot one time, I think.
I think he got shot. I think he got shot multiple times.
Honestly, just like his dad, he died the same way like his dad. Now Doflamingo never found Law again. And Corazon essentially is the reason why Law became a pirate. That's why his pirate crew is named the Heart Pirates. And that's why his jacket on the back says Corazon and stuff like that, which, obviously you can see that Corazon had a huge impact on Law. Where do you think Law's backstory ranks in terms of just all the One Piece backstories?
I'd say it's a little bit on par with Nico Robbins.
I can say that. Mm-hmm. Some people say this is the most emotional backstory. Like I said, every backstory for people is their own opinions, and stuff like that. And then really after that, we're only gonna get like 2 more backstory. No, well, we haven't talked about Senor Pink yet, but 2 more backstories after Dressrosa. That's Sanji, and then what will be the Oden backstory coming soon in the Dressrosa arc. So yeah. Going on in this battle between the pirates, Law actually gets his arm cut off, like legit. And yeah, okay. Yeah, this went really, really freaking bad and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna cut over to Senor Pink and Frankie and get into the Senor Pink backstory. Let's just say the Senor Pink Frankie fight, man, was that a sumo match? Because that was going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. They just take each other as like we're men and stuff.
Yeah. Essentially, they're not going to. It's like the first person who falls on their back is honestly the loser and stuff like that. Did you want to talk about Senor Pink's backstory, or did you want me to do it?
You go ahead, man.
Okay. So, anyways, mid-fight, Senor Pink mentions the fact about his wife and his son. Now, in the backstory, Senor Pink was a part of the Doflamingo Pirates. Eventually, he met a really pretty girl named Rusian, who he later finds out she hates pirates. So, in order to kind of cover up, that whole side of him, he kind of lies to her by saying he has like a banking job, and when he would leave, he would go out to do pirate jobs for Doflamingo instead of doing the fake job that his wife thought. Eventually, they got married, they settled down, and they had a little baby named Gimlet. But sadly, this is the start of Senor Pink's tragic backstory. The fact that first his son dies, which, man, that broke him. And when his wife finally realizes or finds out that he's actually a pirate, she gets really upset at him and she kind of runs away. And it doesn't get any worse. It gets worse for him. She eventually gets trapped into a landslide. And essentially, she's in a state where she cannot respond in words or anything. And, this was emotional. I was like, damn, he was actually a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was doing pirate things for Doflamingo, he was still a good guy. He seemed like he was a caring husband and a loving father for the short period of time. And then you just see this very emotional scene when he goes to visit her in the hospital. She's just not responding to whatever he says, but he makes a mention of Gimlet, their son, and you can see that she starts to smile a bit and she starts to, respond to him. And then that's when you see him coming dressed up like a big baby just to make her smile. And I was like,
Mm-hmm. That's a real man. That's a real man. That's a real man.
Senor Pink is definitely one of them One Piece villains I can go down and be like, you ain't done some good things, but you are a respectful dude.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely got, man, that is a really tragic backstory. To lose your son at a baby age, and then essentially lose your wife where she can't really communicate with you anymore. It doesn't get any worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, if you think things get any more emotional, coming back to the Diamante Kyros fight, that's when Diamante finally reveals the truth to Kyros and Rebecca, the fact of, oh, would you like to know how Scarlet died? Well, guess what? I killed her! And I saw this and I'm like, you mother effer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that fight, man, that was an emotional ass fight, man. And when Kyros finally beat Diamante, that was particularly the end to his story, although not really. Rebecca's and Kyros' story doesn't end there yet, but it's like their resolution to them finally avenging Scarlet's death.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Now, after that whole incident is over with, it looks like Law is gonna get literally stepped on by Doflamingo. Like, I'm not even freaking joking. And then Luffy kind of steps in his way and he's like, you're not doing that. And that's when you have essentially Luffy using Gear Segundo, Gear Thirdo against Doflamingo. But one, Doflamingo's too strong for him to handle in Gear second gear, and then Doflamingo's too fast when Luffy tries to do Gear Third attacks. Because he even tries to do Grizzly Magnum, and Doflamingo's like, bruh, this is too slow. And he literally kicks him in the face. So this is when we get probably one of the most unique transformations in anime, period. And, that's when we get Gear 4, our fourth gear. And that is Luffy's new transformation he has.
I would like to point out that we skipped Luffy versus Bellamy.
Oh yeah, he did. In kind of symbolic way, he knocks him out the same exact way he did it in Jaya. Like legit word for word image. The same pose he punched him in, same whole pole thing, face messed up thing. And he kind of tells Bellamy that he's going to save him essentially. and stuff like that, which, okay, that was nice. Which makes Bellamy, I guess you can say, start to grow an admiration for Luffy.
Mm-hmm. Now back to the Gear Force transformation.
Yes. It's definitely, in terms of transformation forms, unique out of any other transformation forms in any anime. Essentially, Luffy looks like he's all, well, it's Bounty Man, and um, essentially he's puffed up, he's coated in hockey, um, and he's much more bigger. This form increases his speed and his power. He gives more hard blowing attacks, as you can see by just doing a Kong gun on Doflamingo, which literally throws him halfway across damn Dressrosa and stuff like that. And things like that. And you just see a bare knuckling brawl between, Luffy and Doflamingo in this state. And another thing about Gear 4 is because Luffy's essentially kicking his feet, which makes it look like jets, it makes him essentially fly in the air, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I guess your thoughts when Gear 4 was first revealed.
Boing, 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 boing. That was my first thought, legit. I was like,
So yeah. Now there's a part of the fight where Luffy looks like he gets the upper hand on Doflamingo, but then he deforms, which is the let's just say the hindrance to Luffy using Gear 4. I say Gear 4 is somewhat like Super Saiyan 3 when it was first revealed back in the Majin Buu saga. Essentially, Gear 4 is the type of transformation where Luffy does need that extra speed and that extra power against a stronger opponent. But the only thing is, he might want to finish that enemy up within his allotted time limit. Otherwise, he's screwed. And the thing is, when he deforms, he cannot use any forms of, he can't use armament hockey, I believe, for legit 10 minutes, which leaves him at a huge disadvantage. And when you have the other townspeople just roasted think, oh, Luffy's won. Doflamingo's like, you thought. So he's trying to chase after Luffy to kill him. And then also another aspect, you have Jesus Burgess or Jesus Burgess trying to kill Luffy too. Sabo gets in the way with that. If you want to ask what Sabo does here in the back half, he gets in a little skirmish with Fujitora and then fights Burgess, but he doesn't really do much in the back half of this arc. He's kind of just there. Would you say that?
I guess so. I was at that point. I was just like, okay, come on, let's just get back to what's happening with Luffy and stuff.
Yeah. To say that, man, if you really are hyped to see this Luffy versus Doflamingo fight, to say they drag on to get to that fight for the longest time, I'm not even joking. They drag this fight on. They not only drag the Doflamingo versus Luffy fight so long, they just drag so much to get to that fight. And you're like, can we get Luffy versus Doflamingo now? Can we get Luffy versus Doflamingo now, please? And then you have like 20 plus episodes, and then when you finally get it, you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Shall we talk about the fact that Doflamingo also tried to make Rebecca stab Viola?
Oh, we're getting to that. Also, another thing I forgot to mention in this fight, Doflamingo reveals to Luffy that he has awakened Devil Fruit powers. And when he has awakened his Devil Fruit powers, he's essentially can turn buildings into string, like these string type of tail things that go after Luffy and stuff like that, which shows you Devil Fruit users with awakened Devil Fruits are crazy. Now, Luffy still has yet to awaken his Devil Fruit, but I'm guessing when he does that, I'm guessing his surroundings will turn into rubber. How that will play to his advantage, I have no clue.
I think that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. So that it is interesting. I did like it. It did give the Flamingo that extra oomph in terms of power. But yes, going back to what Denzel was saying, if you want to explain the part about that whole aspect you were just about to bring up.
About Viola and Rebecca. Oh yes. Viola goes up to Doflamingo and confronting him, and yeah, she started like throwing punches and kicks at him, and that's where like Rebecca appears, and Doflamingo tried to do something so damn cruel. He started to take control of Rebecca and holding up Viola with some invisible strings, and he started making Rebecca point her sword at Viola. Oh my god. Like, you wouldn't.
Yeah, he tried to get Rebecca to kill her own aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Despicable. Thank goodness Luffy came in at the nick of time to stop this. He eventually does one more to Gear 4, in a sense, is like, nope, I'm gonna have to finish this in this next hit. Otherwise, we're definitely losing. Because also in the meantime, the birdcage is almost like closed down on the entire city of Dressrosa, which I do like to appreciate the fact that there were like people who were trying to hold it back, like and stuff like that. This is also, I believe, the first time you see Zoro and other sword members eventually coat their weapons into hockey, um, and stuff like that, which creates black blades and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, but Luffy does one more final attack, which is King Kong Gun. It breaks through essentially Doflamingo's little defense thing he tried to do. And yeah, he finishes him off, gives him one final blow, and knocks Doflamingo out. It destabilizes the bird cage, and essentially, Doflamingo's done. The city of the town of Dressrosa, the kingdom of Dressrosa is saved. And yeah, um, just some cleanups. After the events of Dressrosa, Doflamingo obviously is arrested from the by the Marines. Luffy, well, earlier Sabo eventually is like, yeah, I gotta go out because I got a Revolutionary Army duty to say this, even though he doesn't really say goodbye to Luffy because he's knocked out. So he dips. Kuro says he's also going to leave Dressrosa because he can't face Rebecca for essentially he feels like he has a tainted, record essentially, or a tainted, body from his past and stuff like that. And this inspires Luffy to essentially go out of his way to get Rebecca before I guess she's like officially coronated or something, to be like the next, princess of Dressrosa, which she later turns down. Um, he goes to retrieve her when everybody else thinks like, oh, Luffy's gonna steal her and take her with her as his hostage and stuff like that. But eventually we get this very emotional scene, which still makes me tear up to this day, which is the final, well, not the final reunion, but the resolution to Kiros and Rebecca's storyline in the aspect where Rebecca tells Kiros, like, no, you're not going anywhere because I want you here because you are my dad. I'm not the father of some fake prince. You're my father, which was a very emotional scene. Because not well, one, it's funny because well, I know it's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's very emotional, but I found it hilarious how why they gotta make every damn One Piece character when they cry or get emotional literally have snot coming down their nose.
That's literally a gist, I guess, in One Piece.
Um, and stuff like that. And then when Rebecca finally called Kiros instead of Toy Soldier, um, when she finally called him Otosan, our father, I was like, damn it, man. Why? So, what did you think of the Kiros Rebecca resolution to their story arc, buddy?
Oh man, bravo.
Going forward, that's the last we see of them. Well, Rebecca till Reverie, essentially. But yeah. Anyways, Fujitora one. He's like, okay, should I let the Straw Hat Pirates and the other convicts get out of here? So essentially, he plays a game of chance by rolling this dice, and eventually it rolls on the side where he's gonna have to go after them. And then you have Luffy go up against Fujitora. The thing is with Luffy is because he's blind, Luffy's literally telling him where he's attacking or what body part he's attacking from. And Fujitora's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like he feels somewhat insulted that he won't take him seriously and stuff. Like, are you gonna insult me just by telling me wherever you're gonna hit me and stuff?
Yeah. But the one thing after the little skirmish, after Luffy forcibly gets taken away by the other people, the one thing that I did find interesting, what I did like that Fujitora is definitely like, I guess you can say now one of people's favorite admirals. The fact that he's like, I really do wish I could have saw that young man's eyes and stuff like that. So I really do think, even though he knows at the end of his job he has to capture Luffy, I think you can say he really does respect Luffy as a person
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
and let's not forget, Luffy also tells him, I actually kind of like you.
Yeah.
And Fujitora started laughing at that.
Yeah. It's too bad that apparently Akainu thinks less of Fujitora because he's like, you were supposed to bring me Straw Hat and you didn't do it. So
Well,
don't come back.
And this is Fujitora. Well, guess what, Akainu? I don't give a.
Essentially, that's what he said. Now he later says that in Reverie, but okay, we kind of went ahead there, but it's okay. It was just a funny moment. It's another character essentially giving the middle finger to Akainu by saying, bruh, don't talk to me. Which I'm all for.
Yeah, I think almost all the Marines are all like giving the middle finger to him. I noticed that.
Anyways, actually before that, Fujitora also mentioned the fact how he would like the warlord system to be eradicated, which is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you think the warlord system could be eradicated?
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Okay, all right. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. And stuff like that. Okay. Anyways, when Luffy and the others get on a ship, the Colosseum people, the people in the combatants in the Colosseum, even though Luffy does not want them to, they essentially pledge to be under his essentially little pirate crew. Or they pledge allegiance to Luffy by each of them drinking a sake cup. And this starts the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. So he now has his little own armada, and he's got over a lot of men at his disposal if he wants to. Which is crazy and stuff like that. What did you think of this scene? I thought it was like, they're definitely coming back, maybe for the final battle.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Because Luffy did say, whenever I'm in need of help, I'll give you a call. So, you might.
Just as long as he doesn't forget.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. When you look at the time, like the whole New World Saga thing, this stuff takes place like in matters of days. I'm not even joking. Like, takes place in days. It feels longer with how long the manga and the animes are, and it feels like it should be like, oh, isn't this like a month-long journey or maybe 2-3 months? No, this takes in the span of like 5 or 6 days.
Well, yeah, true, but also think about it, how dumb Shonen Jump main anime characters can be. Especially Luffy. Like, who are you?
Still, it's so crazy to look at Luffy now, where he's currently at right now, and be like, This dude is this strong, and he only entered like the new world in essentially like a month or so, or a few days, which is insane. Um, before we end this video off, some things that are currently going on outside the world. Sanji and others have finally got to Zoe, but that's when they also encounter some members of the Beast Pirates. Speaking of Beast Pirates, Kaido literally jumps from a whole Sky Island to try to kill himself. That fails epically, but he runs into Eustace Captain Kidd, Basil Hawkins, and Scratchman Apu. And after that, we kind of know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Kid is locked up in a Udon prison in Wano, and I'm guessing Hawkins is he just is like gave into his crew, and he's like, "Don't kill me, don't imprison me. I'll be in your crew." So Scratchman Apu, what do you think happened to him? Do you think he joined his crew as well?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. He probably knowing Kaido, he probably disposed of him.
Well, we're just gonna have to find out. We're just gonna have to find out as what goes on. It's also revealed that X Drake is also in Kaido's crew as well. Another thing too is Jack, who was one of Kaido's men, is going to try to rescue Doflamingo, even though the Marines have like crazy fleet numbers. But we all know Jack doesn't eventually do that because he heads to Zoe and stuff like that. So, yeah, and then, you know, as Bartolomeo is going through the bounties, obviously the Straw Pirates in Dressrosa, they get a bounty raise. I don't have the numbers, but Sanji's bounty, which is interesting, says Sanji only needs to be alive, which is a hint to a future arc in the coming weeks. And that's where Dressrosa ends off. And yeah, so I think we're done talking Dressrosa. Dressrosa, although it was long, unbearably long, I still enjoyed it, and it was one of my favorite arcs. Even if you could say it was more of an advanced version of the Alabasta arc.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any closing thoughts you want to say about Dressrosa?
Oh man, I'm just surprised that I made it through all that. Let me just say that. My God, One Piece.
Yes, One Piece hurts the soul in terms of how long it is. But honestly, I say if you start from beginning to end and you finally catch up, that is an accomplishment. Whether you read the manga or watch the anime.
My God, I still haven't recovered though.
But all right, I think that's where we're gonna call it quits for now. We'll see you guys next week for One Piece arc review of the Zoe arc, which essentially is the build-up catalyst arc to not only the Wano arc, but as well as the whole Cake Island arc, as well with the Sanji stuff. So we're gonna get out of here. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Dressrosa arc. Anything that was your favorite part about Dressrosa, your thoughts on the Gear 4 transformation being revealed for the first time. You know, hit the subscribe button to get more One Piece related content up on the channel in terms of One Piece arc reviews or the anime episode reviews. And after the One Piece arc reviews, I'm going to be doing One Piece movie and One Piece special reviews as the weeks progress till I finish them all. And that's kind of it in terms of me talking about past One Piece stuff. And my co-host probably will not join me on those videos. I'll probably be doing that on my own. So look forward to that because the One Piece thing will not be a thing. Will be continuously going on after a while. I still have to find a way to fit fairy tale review arc reviews into my schedule, alongside my fairy tale manga chapter reviews, as well as I will also be reviewing the Dragon Ball Z movies. And so also look forward to that. I don't know when I'll start recording videos for that, but yeah. So yeah, that's really it. We're gonna get out of here, and yeah. So this has been Camper 15,
And the Red Wolf.
and we're signing out. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your night or day or whenever you're checking out this video. So till then, guys, stay safe out there. Whether it's the after crazy people election, or definitely stay safe out there with the virus because cases are going up, and it's getting real bad out there. So take care, guys. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Peace.